After 2 weeks of our Brinkley RV being at the service center, we're picking it up and hitting the road again. But first, we're taking you on a tour of the Brinkley RV Factory and giving you our very honest opinion of our Brinkley RV after living in it full-time for 10 months. So the first half's gonna be the factory tour, and then the second half, starting around the 16-minute mark, is our review. So if you wanna skip around, feel free. This week's video is a little bit different, but we still can't wait to take you along. We are headed to the Brinkley RV Service Center right now to check out our RV. It's getting finished exactly when they told us it was going to be finished, which is pretty amazing. They're going to show us what they did. We'll get to check everything out, and we're really excited to show you guys our upgrades and the repairs and everything.
We're going to show off the factory a little bit too.
Yes, we've got a factory tour to take you guys on. Yeah, we're really excited. It's the first time we've seen it. We've got pictures and updates throughout the repair process, which has been great, but we haven't seen it in person until today. It's raining.
Cold.
Looking at it, I was like, it's what you. Nice.
All right, so we just got done at the Brinkley Service Center. It went really well. They walked us through, showed us all the stuff they did.
Yeah, I'm super impressed. They did a very good job. But we'll show you more of it after we actually get the RV back. We're picking it up in the morning so we can leave super early. And so you'll have to wait till then to actually really see everything that they did.
In the meantime, we're gonna cut to our factory tour that we filmed, show you a little bit around the Brinkley factory, which was really cool to see. They're doing, I mean, we'd watched some tours before, but to see it in person, really, really cool. They're doing some really innovative stuff. Really helps you understand kind of what goes into building one of these things. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's very interesting. If you haven't ever done a factory tour, you should do one. It's pretty cool.
So here we go. All right, we're headed to the Brinkley RV Factory to do a tour there, and I'm pretty excited because we've been wanting to do a tour since before we ever even had our Brinkley.
Yeah, and we've seen other people's tours of it. It looks pretty cool. So hopefully it's as good in real life as it is on all these videos.
We got to see the outside, obviously, when we dropped our RV off, and you guys saw it last week. And the outside looks pretty cool, so I figured the inside should look pretty cool too.
Decide where you want to start. Welcome to Brinkley. We're currently standing in Plant 1. This is one of 2 production facilities we have running right now. Both of them are 175,000 square foot. They're heated, they're air conditioned. Plant 3, which will be our Model Z air plant, will be done in April, here real soon.
Ready for this tour?
How many steps are we about to get in?
Whew, you're gonna get your steps in. Yeah, I tell you that, we're gonna be good. We're gonna get in shape today. So one of the cool parts about with us having a blank slate and building brand new facilities from the start, we could kind of cater them to, you know, how we wanted them laid out. In this area in particular, you drive around, you kind of see some stuff sitting out in parking lots. So we wanted to make certain areas of the plant quite a bit larger to build racks and store all of our raw goods in-house. So by the time it's ready to go in your unit, it's brand new. It's not been sitting outside in the elements of northern Indiana. This is basically the start of the production line over here. So we'll bring a handful of the chassis in the night before, and I think we're all aware there's some chassis stuff going around in the industry, and we wanted to do our due diligence from the beginning and make sure that we wouldn't have issues down the line. So our engineers will design our chassis, our crossmember location, our outrigger location, all of our upper deck thickness, and the sidewalls are really what give it its rigidity. Once the sidewalls are set, there's a few different ways to fasten it to make sure you don't have any issues. So on the side, you'll see horizontal holes and then vertical holes. So when we go to set the sidewall, we'll use, it's called Sikaflex. It's a pretty strong adhesive. We'll put that on the side rails. We'll set the sidewalls on. We'll run our vertical lags up through the top and then our horizontal lags through the inside. And there's a triple hollow. It's basically a triple stacks tube that we'll stuff with wood. So instead of just going through hollow aluminum, we actually have a piece of wood to grab onto as well. So as this thing's beating itself up going down the road, those holes aren't wallowing out and those
screws backing out. Yeah,
exactly. So up here, kind of showing you where that triple hollow where we stuff. So for the vertical lags going up and down, you can see we stuff this one, and then the ones going horizontal, we stuff that top tube as well. And really early on, we did what's called a Bosch test, and it's basically a 100,000 mile simulation. So we loaded it to well over what the GVWR is, and we basically beat the snot out of it for quite some time, and we're really looking to see what'll break. So we want to find the weak points in the unit and hopefully, eliminate those before we start production. So our third prototype, we did that Bosch test, and it opened our eyes to a few things that we wanted to adjust before we started the production process. Here in the very first station, basically the first thing they're going to do is install the tanks in the actual chassis. And when we started, we kind of got together and said, hey, how can we work on eliminating top 10 warranty issues that have sort of plagued the industry in years past? One of those being tanks falling out of your underbelly, as crazy as that may sound. But usually there's 90 brackets that support the tanks on each side, and then these steel straps that go underneath. But when the tanks fill up, they kind of swell up and be round, and the only thing that's supporting them is that small steel strap, and then it drops right out of the bottom. So we use on the top and the bottom of our grays and blacks called a steel floater, which we'll see in the next station. It's basically a support bar that we put in the top and the bottom along with the 290s and sandwich the tanks in so it doesn't give it a chance to expand and have any way of dropping out of the bottom. Nothing's going to happen. It's going to come back up through your drains, and you know you need to empty your tanks.
So how much water can you have in it when you're traveling?
So the fresh tank is right above your axles, so you can run with a full fresh. We've ran with them full. There's not a problem. Obviously, if you're going super long distances and rough roads, we don't recommend it per se, but it can be done if you get in a bind for sure. So
we could go bigger on this one, guys. This is a missed opportunity. So these are the two gray tanks, which they do plumb together. They're 45 gallons apiece, so tied together it's 90 gallons. They're plumbed together at the bottom of the tank, correct?
You got it.
So they definitely are draining and filling up pretty much at the exact same time. It should be pretty level each time. And then the black tank over there is also 45 gallons.
So in the plan itself, we tried to implement ways to make it as easy on these guys as possible. Obviously, it's a pretty labor-intensive job. So if we can take some weight off these guys' shoulders. So for example, we have a hoist that'll pick the axles up and they can drop them down from the top once the chassis is flipped upside down. And then as we continue to go, all the different mezzanines and all the hoists that we put in place, to take some of the strain off these guys so they're not absolutely spent by the end of the day. So this second station here in the production line is called rough wire. This is where we run all of our 12 volt and 110 wiring in the underbelly. So I would say probably one of the biggest differences that Brinkley does is wire harnesses. So you can kind of see them over there on the rack. They come to us just like that. They're all cut to length. They're loomed, they're labeled. So all the guys have to do in this station, cut the zip ties, lay it out in the chassis. Eliminates a lot of that human error of, I'll pull this color today, another color tomorrow. They're all exactly the same unit to unit. So these couple stations are floor set. So really from the front to the end of the production process, we'll try to control as much in-house. So like we do all of our own laminating of our sidewalls. We build all of our main floors back at our lamination facility. So if it's something that we can keep and control the quality here in-house, we'll absolutely do so. So over there on the rack, you can see all of our aluminum frame floors stacked up, ready to go. And they will build them right here. And we'll lay out a layer of this Darko, which is it's a black plasticky woven together material. It's a rodent barrier, a moisture barrier. We'll lay that out. We'll then lay out a layer of thermofoil, which that stuff's nuts. I'll let you guys feel it once we go upstairs and wrap your hand in it and see just how good it traps the heat in. So we'll lay those two materials out, take the aluminum framing, set it down on top, stuff batten insulation in between all the framing of the floor, and then we'll take our floor decking. So it's called OSB Big Board. It's a marine grade OSB, and instead of using tongue and groove, where the pieces come together, you tend to get soft spots and squeaks over time. So it's all one big sheet. Again, we got a hoist in place to pick it up so these guys don't have to worry about muscling it over on top of the floor. And something cool that we're doing, obviously it's not done in this station, but once we go to the next, I'm sure most of everyone watching this and you guys have heard of Eternabond before. So any raw edge, like right here, this is a high traffic area where a slide out's coming in and out. So any raw edge where there's wood exposed, we'll completely seal that off with Eternabond. So same with our pass-through floor, we'll seal that area off so there's no way any water can come in. And when you stick that stuff, you better hope you get it right the first time.
Yeah.
Because you ain't getting it off once you do.
That's how we repaired our roof when we hit a tree.
Yeah. That's painful to hear. Upstairs here, this is where they'll build basically our face frames, and the saws that we use, one of the components is called a tiger stop. So basically we type in the dimension or the length of the cut that we need to, and this leg brings the style to where it needs to, and then we use a saw that's an upcut saw, so this cover comes down and the saw blade actually comes up from underneath, and it makes the cleanest cuts. And then that tiger stop basically makes sure every cut is at the exact length that we need it to be.
And that's why when you walk into Brinkley, when we were walking around the Tampa RV show, looking at all the different rigs, you walk into Brinkley and you don't see gaps and crooked lines and everything. Everything's just clean and nice.
So up here is where we'll construct the roofs. So we have all of our trusses laid out here, and depending on the floor plan we're running, it'll show them where to set each truss 16 inches on center. And then any load bearing area like air conditioners will double up the trusses for the additional weight so we don't have any issues down the line. But basically we will assemble everything right here and route out all the openings. So shakedown's one of our biggest pet peeves. So we'll try to route and cut as much as possible off the coach. So they'll route out all the AC openings, the vent openings, the speaker openings here. They'll run your ducting, they'll flip it over to this big hoist. We'll pick it up. In a lot of cases, roofs will be built in sections so guys can just pick them up and actually walk them out there. But we have the space to be able to build the entire roof and then have one big hoist pick it up and set it down on top of the coach. So it's a lot more efficient. These guys aren't having to lift up super heavy roof pieces, and it makes their lives a lot easier. This station right here is where we'll actually put the roof material itself on. So we'll blow the roof off, make sure it's nice and clean. And the first thing we'll do is seal that decking to sidewall edge with Eternabond. Same stuff we saw over there on the main floor. So that's kind of our first layer of protection throughout the entire coach. Every piece where a sidewall and a sidewall meet, we'll seal that off with Eternabond. So from there, they will actually glue the roof decking, and then we have a little gauge that will go across the roof and make sure that the glue thickness is at the right level. Obviously, too little is a problem, too much is another problem. So once they've glued, put the roof glue on, we'll put on the outside of the Eternabond, we'll put a small strip of butyl. We'll then pull the roofing material, which is one-piece TPO. They'll pull it front to rear, and then they take a little bit of soapy water. It's a funky process, but they'll put a little bit of soapy water and then run over to the roof with a squeegee to get all the air bubbles out, make sure it's adhered all across the roof. They'll then pull the TPO tight, and then that butyl will actually hold it. So as they're going to put your trim rail and whatnot on, that roof isn't starting to seep back up and hopefully cause any air bubbles. So once the trim's on, it's backed with Mylar. You guys have probably heard of Mylar before. They'll fasten that to the sidewall, cut the excess TPO off underneath the trim, and then they'll cut out all the openings for your ACs, your vents, your max air fans, so on and so forth. And then one station over, you'll see on the AC openings themselves, this is a really big deal, we'll actually Eternabond around the air conditioning openings. So, if it ever comes loose, obviously air conditioners create a lot of moisture and water. In a lot of cases, that roof decking can rot out. But with us sealing that completely with Eternabond, we don't have to worry about that roof decking ever rotting out on you. So here's the windows, and on the exterior of every Brinkley, you'll notice that there's no silicone, and really the main reason we can get away with that is it's butyl covered foam. Closed cell foam covered in butyl. So every window, every baggage door, this is what we use to seal it. So once the window's in, there's a garnish on the inside that'll pull it tight. And then 4 stations down, we do a seal test on every single unit. We'll close the windows, close the baggage doors, and actually pressurizes the inside of the coach. And then we'll go around the outside of the windows and the baggage doors with soapy water. So before we put the window trim on, if we need to adjust a window or tighten a fastener a little bit more. So anywhere where we see a bubble, we know that we have a problem. So every single coach going down the line is going to get seal tested, which does not usually happen. But we know, obviously, we can't get away with siliconing. So we need to make sure that every unit, by the time it rolls out that door, is sealed tight. So this is the last station in final finish. This is a shaker plate. So every single unit will ride on this for 1 minute, and it basically, it shakes the crap out of this thing. So we're the first to introduce something like this. We could have done a road test, but they're brand new plants, obviously brand new concrete, so that's not gonna do a whole lot for us. So every single unit will ride on this shaker plate. So if there's any shakedown left, if a cabinet door's drooping, basically this will show its head after it runs on the shaker table, and we can adjust it in PDI.
All right, so we just finished up the tour here at Brinkley, which was pretty awesome. I know I didn't say much because I was learning just like you guys. This was the first time me and Victoria's done a tour, and it was a lot better than I thought a tour would be of a factory. It's pretty interesting stuff, and getting to see how these RVs are built. It's pretty amazing. And you won't believe what Brinkley has done. Y'all know I really like the 3610, and they have gifted us this one. So I'm just kidding. We did not get a free Brinkley, guys. But we're gonna take you through this one and show you this RV. It's the 3610, and this is like right before it rolls out the factory, what they're looking like. And This is like the last stage, right?
Yeah.
This is it.
Home stretch here.
Yeah, so let's look at it. Oh my gosh.
So everybody knows that Craig's like, well, if we had a different one.
It would be this one. Guys, come here. Come look at this.
Okay.
No, you gotta see this. Look at.
It looks a lot like ours, doesn't it?
No.
But except for.
Look at this room. You could literally just take everything out, all their really fine work they've done, and make it a man cave, and then make the wives stay out because it's your man
Here's
cave.
his desk.
Yeah, yeah. Look at this. And then we don't need this mirror. We're getting rid of that. You can put like a little refrigerator in here, and then you ain't even got to leave. You can just stay right in here and watch your big TV. Perfect.
Perfect.
But we'll show you the bedroom, which should be pretty similar to ours as well. Unless they've changed everything. Also, this is really different. It's really weird feeling when you come from the 3100 to the 3610 because of this hallway. I don't know, it's just strange feeling because you would not expect it to have such a long hallway. Very familiar, a little cleaner, you know? Yeah, I don't think this one's had 2 border collies living in it for a year almost.
Great bathroom. Shower's good size.
Yeah, yeah. We'll try and convince them to put buttons on the shower wand for you guys. I know that's been a thing. Or you could just use our link in the description and buy the one that we bought because it's phenomenal.
So that wraps up our tour. We've had a fantastic time, and we'll see you guys in just a bit back at our own RV. And we're back in our RV, and it's pretty much good as new again. If you caught last week's video, you kind of know our little laundry list of stuff we were getting Brinkley to fix, and honestly, it was all so much just like small cosmetic stuff, but it's all been fixed. New window shade, new sink drain, and Craig even found out that he could have fixed that little cabinet door that needed adjusting all by himself, but he did not.
So it turns out that I could have just adjusted this. I figured there was a way to adjust it, but I didn't do it.
Well, do you got any tips for anybody whose cabinet doors might be a little, like, touching a little bit?
No, yeah, call your manufacturer. No, I'm just kidding, don't do that to get your car. That'd be such a waste. But yeah, the screws on these hinges, which I have never used these hinges before or whatever, and I didn't really look into them, but you know, you just change it or turn this screw, it adjusts one way. You can adjust these things all kinds of ways. So definitely just look it up if you have any cabinets with these hinges rubbing. Look up the hinge and figure out how to adjust it, or be like me and don't look it up. If you were to do it yourself, and just go in there, start turning some screws, you'll figure it out. So one of the biggest things we did talk about was we said we had a leak. We did not have a plumbing leak. A lot of people were a little worried that we had a huge plumbing leak. We don't have a plumbing leak. It was not a plumbing leak, okay? Again, say it with me. Not a plumbing leak, okay? We had missing caulk. We had missing caulk leak, okay? Maverick, what are you doing, boy? So when you would shower, the water would get in this track, which that's normal. And what's not normal is instead of it running back into the shower because it was missing caulk, it would run out of the shower onto the floor. So anytime you showered, it would produce some water on the floor. They just added caulk to it, and it's been working perfectly fine since then. Also, they went ahead and changed out the whole cabinet thing. Same sink and countertop. They didn't change that, but they did change out the cabinet and the whole cabinet box. So that was nice.
And this fan up here is what is in all of the new Brinkleys now, and it works good. Like this exhaust fan, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When it's on high, sucks all the moisture out of the air.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's nice too. The closet rod is also all put back together, but my life is not put back together in there after 2 weeks out of the RV and living out of suitcases. So you're not getting to see that. Just trust me when I say it's all good. Okay, and now we want to give you guys our review of our Brinkley RV.
Yep.
What we like, what we don't like, our thoughts on the whole matter. We're going to give a short version, long version, but first we're going through some stats. We've been in the Brinkley for 10 whole months. We bought it last May. It's March now.
Yeah. So almost a year, and in that time we have put 10 million, no, I'm just kidding, but 10,000 miles on the RV. And with a little bit of research, not much, so I don't know, could be true, could be false. However, it's estimated that a typical person that RVs will put around 5,000 miles on the RV in a year. So we have done, by the time 12 months is here, we will have done over 2 years worth of miles on our RV, which is insane.
And we've done that across 17 different states and all different types of locations, from full hookups to boondocking down dirt roads that we probably should have never
Some crazy dirt roads.
Yeah. We put it to the full test.
Well, the test hasn't stopped either, because as you know, we're getting ready to go to Alaska. So
hit that subscribe button, by the way, if you want to see that, but we digress.
If you want to see these things, if they actually hold up.
That being said, talking about these things, we have model number 101.
101 is the number of units that has been made by that company as a whole.
Which is why you often hear us say on the newer Brinkleys, they're not doing this anymore, yada, 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 because we have an old one. We were an early adopter. So let's start with our short review. Question we get over and over and over again: are you happy about the Brinkley? Do you regret buying the Brinkley? Or do you like the Brinkley? Though, do we regret buying the Brinkley?
Nah, I don't regret it. I think if I was in this situation again, that would probably buy the Brinkley again. Like just go to an RV show, walk through some of them, and see if you like the Brinkley or you like the other ones. For the price point the Brinkley's at and the quality you get, you're not going to beat it with another RV. It's good. The
only regret we have is the fact that sometimes we wish we had like a smaller off-road rig, but then we also want the fifth wheel. So we want a transformer RV basically, and they don't make those yet. Yeah, we need to get some like off-roading suspension put on this thing, lift a little higher. But then it's too big. It's too big for that, really. No, we won't be able to fit anywhere. So we sometimes just wish we had a totally different rig, but not of this kind. Just a totally different kind of rig for different kinds of stuff. Yeah. But for what it is, we like it a lot. Have enjoyed it. Yeah. We'd do it again. It's been a good RV. Now for the long review, so if you are really thinking of buying a Brinkley, you're probably going to stick around for this. We've broken it into 5 categories: interior, exterior, suspension and chassis, like the stuff underneath the RV, rating like different problems, how many problems, the level of problems, and then also customer service and company vibe in general. So first one, interior. I like the interior. I love how you get a very residential feel in it. That's kind of ultimately what drew us to the RV, was the more modern look of the RV. Framing the windows, just like it. No other RV seems to be doing that. Well, they were not. There's some now that have. I mean, they should. I mean, honestly, you should be. If you're in an RV manufacturer, go ahead and steal that idea. Yeah, interior, modern look. We love it. And one thing I really like about the interior is the fact that it's just a very functional layout. Yeah. We went 3 feet shorter, yet feel like the RV is bigger. The pantry is bigger. The fridge is bigger. The space is way more usable, I guess, and you just feel more, it feels more open. So that is also a really nice thing about it. There is one thing that is not our favorite when it comes to the interior. It's one of our small which is the appliances. They're a Furrion product, which Furrion's owned by Lippert, just like everything else for the most part. If it's not Lippert, it's Thor, it seems like. But I don't know, Furrion's just not our favorite company. Granted, we haven't had problems with our microwave or fridge. We just hear it's like you hear that sometimes people have problems, so we'll see. But it makes sense for them to use the appliances they use. If they went around putting the best of the best in the Brinkley, the price point, much more expensive RV. It would be way more. Like it's right now, it's around $100,000 for this RV once you get it from the dealer. I don't know what they pay Brinkley for them, but. Or however that works, but so like if they're putting in like all the best stuff, you can't. It'd be a $200,000 RV, and nobody's gonna pay that, you know. So It's a balance. It's a balance.
It is. And I guess if I had to pick something to be cheap on the RV, I would want something that's easily changed out. So
Yep.
like the oven breaks, it's going to be a few screws. You unscrew it, pull it out, put the new one in. That's much easier than a wall falling off or something.
Yeah. We know about those walls.
Yeah.
From our last RV. If you don't know about that, watch our From the Beginning playlist.
Yeah.
Just say it.
Go watch that. That's fun.
Okay, now exterior. Let's talk about the exterior. The exterior is why probably we bought this RV. So I'm going to let you talk about that.
We were over them slouches. Oh my goodness. If you're
That's not even what I was thinking.
what are you talking about, the exterior?
You know, Craig doesn't have to seal it.
Oh, yeah. That's so with Brinkley, I had started following this company before they were really anything. I think they had a Facebook page or something. And one of the things they said on it, it was like, our automotive exterior doesn't have to be sealed or whatever, lifetime sealed or something. I don't know, maintenance free. And I was like, sold. You got me. I'm done. I'm buying it.
Literally, like, he dragged us, when we went to Tampa RV show, not this past year, but the year before, he dragged us over there to go see the automotive exterior.
Oh,
the guy
man.
was telling him, you don't have to seal it, blah, blah. We about bought it right then and there.
Like, if you talked to me at that RV show for any amount of time, I was like, I don't know why you're looking at other RVs. You need to just go look at the Brinkley.
And we haven't had any issues with it. We haven't had any water intrusion, nothing. Like, it's only been 10 months. I think this is something that is more time will tell, so we'll keep you guys posted. But so far, no issues with the exterior at all, except for the issue that we caused with a little tree branch. So other than that, it's all been good. And like Craig was going to say, it does look much more modern. The lines are, the design is much better.
Also, with this RV, it being a shorter footprint, it still somehow has more storage outside. We have storage under this back couch, which is great. It carries Victoria's Christmas tree that we pull out once a year, and then it just takes up space.
I'm not going to say anything. Yes, it carries my Christmas tree and our paddle boards.
It does
all
carry
fit
the paddle
right
board,
under there.
which we also only use once a year. So I don't know. I guess if it's only used once a year, it goes in the back storage.
I don't think we really have any complaints about the exterior. Do you?
No, none.
All right, next category is suspension and chassis. We haven't had any problem with our suspension and chassis.
No.
And the thing that also drew us to Brinkley is that they're just using heavier duty everything.
Yeah, if they can put a better grade of something on it, it seems like they did, all the way down to the tires. So we'll start at the top, the chassis to start with, the frame of the RV. They have their engineers beef them up in problem areas, I believe is what they were saying, from the start, to hope combat any issues down the road after you've traveled in it.
They're also just heavier. If we've heard some other people talk, like they're heavier than
the grade of metal. Yeah, it's just a thicker metal. Like, they went with the thickest they could. Then, like, the leaf springs, they're rated higher. The shackles are stronger. The tires are, what are they? H rated tires. Better tire. I think they're Coopers, and not like Westlake's or whatever the China, what everybody calls the China bombs.
But overall, the thing is on travel days with our old RV, it was like literally every time we would stop somewhere, we would be like, what's gonna be wrong? What's gonna be dangling off the RV? Are we gonna lose a tire? I don't know. It was just always a fear on travel days because we didn't really fully trust the RV. And
maybe that just comes with having an older RV. And when I say older, it was only 6 years old when we had it, when we bought it. So it wasn't that old. Since we got the Brinkley, that's not the case. Like, you feel pretty confident.
Yeah, don't even worry about it. You just kind of, you're always on guard, but you just don't have that extra fear, or I don't anymore.
Yeah.
So it's been nice. All right, next category is problems and repairs. So there's like this saying, or kind of like this feeling in RV life that you guys probably know about when you're sitting around the campfire and somebody's like, yeah, something just broke on my RV. And you know what everybody says? It's always something, and you kind of feel like it's just always something with RV life. With our last RV, oh my gosh, like that was our motto.
Yeah, but our always something was a lot more than everybody else's always something on that thing.
It's like, yeah, my fan stopped working. We're like, oh, our back wall almost fell off.
Yeah.
Or our slide won't go in. Since we got the Brinkley, honestly, it hasn't always been something
Yeah, and I feel like I don't have to worry. And then even if something does come up, again, it's a new company. They're not got every single thing figured out, so like they're working through it. However, their customer service is phenomenal. We had something that we needed a part for. It was 4th of July. They literally 4th of July weekend. I got them like on a Friday evening, I believe. He stayed, he got us our part overnighted to us.
To the middle of nowhere, Colorado.
We were boondocking. Yeah, we were boondocking. And and that customer service is like, that's still how they treat everybody.
If you joined us last week and kind of saw the list of things that we took to Brinkley and had them fix at the factory, we honestly just feel like that was a pretty small list of issues for 10 months. We'd been saving it up. 10 months worth of 10,000 miles, and it was mostly a few cosmetic issues that were easily fixed. Yeah. So in terms of problems and repairs, we're very happy with the number we've had, with the types we've had. It's not been anything that has prevented us from going. Yeah. And continuing on. The only thing that left is somebody's going to be like, what about your brakes back in Colorado? When we had the brake recall, Lippert brakes, Lippert recall, we did have to wait for that to be fixed.
Yeah.
And the waiting really came down to the mobile techs we were using. But that's another story. You can just go watch that video if you want to see it. Yeah. Okay, last category, customer service and company attitude overall. I give them A++.
Yeah, they're really great. Like when we took the Brinkley and did the factory tour and everything like that at their place, the people we would talk to, like they really believe in the company. The company seems to really believe in their workers, and they take care of their people. So which is good for consumers, because that means they're going to take pride in their work and try to do a better job. So it's like, if you've worked at a big company or corporate or anything like that, a lot of times problems start at the top and just work their way down in one way or another. And it seems like the top at Brinkley is trying to do the right thing. And it really shows in the people that you will deal with as a consumer most of the time. I can't speak for everybody because we didn't speak to every single worker, but everybody we ran into.
Everybody has a bad day every once in a while. People are humans. And I will say, I think we should have probably prefaced this at the beginning. I think we said it before. I think some people don't know still. We're not sponsored by Brinkley, doesn't pay us. We're not brand ambassadors or anything like that.
No.
So we try our best to share our experiences and give credit where credit is due. Also share the good, the bad, everything in between. And that's what we always hope to do on our channel with you guys, because we want you to feel like you're just here with us, doing life with us, no matter what comes our way.
Yep. So you're going to get the good and the bad with ours.
If you're tired of us hearing us talk about Brinkley, don't worry.
I'm tired of editing videos of us just talking about Brinkley. I love Brinkley.
Come on, we're ready to do some more fun stuff.
I love my adventures a little more. I love rock climbing. I love going on hikes and boondocking. That's what I love doing. So I'm so ready to get back to doing that and taking you guys with us on our fun excursions that we come up with. So,
and that's what we're finally doing. When we head out west next, it's going to be a fun adventure. So be sure you're subscribed, because you're not going to want to miss it. And thank you, everyone, for all of your support.
And just while we're saying thank you, everybody that wished us a happy anniversary.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. You guys are phenomenal. Like the people that actually watch our videos and like love our channel and everything, you people are so nice.
I didn't know there was this many nice people left in the world, to be honest. Thank you guys again. We will see you next week.
Make sure you subscribe and like, okay? I'm only saying this once. Don't make me tell you again. Anyways, thank you guys. Bye.